Morning, guys. Um, it's kind of early, but I really wanted to jump on here and show you guys something. I just got a package in. I'm really excited about it. I want to kind of show you what I got and how I plan to use it. So, one of the most important parts about any cosplay is strapping it to your body, putting enough time and thought into how to do that properly. Because if you don't, if you don't strap it well, then it ends up, not sticking, not staying to your body, falling, sliding off, damaging other pieces, being really uncomfortable to wear or virtually impossible to wear, and so on. And if you put enough, once you put all that time and effort into making something, you don't want to skimp on the details. Unfortunately, that traditionally has been something I've kind of skimped on. I haven't really put enough thought into it in the past. My Master Chief costume, all I did was use these side release buckles, plastic side release buckles. These are super cheap, and they worked all right. But the problem is, like I said, they're really cheap. Number one. Number two, when you're putting a costume on, you have a lot of lost mobility. And so it was virtually impossible for me to do up these little buckles myself. For some of the more complicated or smaller pieces, but some of the last pieces to go on, I couldn't put it on. I would need somebody essentially to be my armorer and put the costume on for me. Another problem that I did was the kind I purchased. You'll see here it's adjustable on both sides, the male and the female side. It can be adjusted, which is a little more than I needed, and so you ended up having pieces sliding around, at times, because this buckle was able to move along the webbing. As for webbing, all I used was this 1-inch nylon webbing, which worked fine. But I decided I was going to upgrade, a good bit for Ironman, because I would need to. Another thing to take into consideration when you're making your strapping system is determining how you're going to intend to put the piece on, in what order the pieces are going to go on when you're suiting up or taking off. Because if you do it right, you should be able to get most of the suit on yourself. Maybe not all of it, but a significant amount of it you can put on or take off by yourself. If you do it the wrong way, not the case, which is what happened with Master Chief. So with Iron Man, the way I intend to suit up, basically, is you take the hip pod, the cod piece, you just step into it like a pair of pants, pull it up to your hips. It's going to have, I'm going to make essentially suspenders for it. Those suspenders are going to be made out of this nylon. They're going to be attached to the back, come up and cross over my back, over my shoulders, and then buckle in the front. The buckle is going to be these. These are side release buckles, like before, but the difference is they're a little heavier duty. These are made of metal, so it should be able to hold the weight. Why kind of going up with metal as opposed to sticking with the plastic for this is because a lot of weight is going to hang from these buckles. The attached to the cod piece will be the entire legs, both legs. And the legs are pretty heavy. So you're going to have the legs attached to the cod piece and the cod piece hanging from my shoulders, essentially, and held up by suspenders clamped with these. To attach the thighs to the cod piece, I'm going to use 4 of these. Now, this is a really cool buckle. This company, Strapworks, which is where I get all my strapping stuff from. They're really cool. I'll link them in the description. Really good company. I recommend using them. They've got tutorials, videos to go through how to use some of their stuff. Tons of different options. Not crazy expensive at all. And their shipping is pretty quick. So it's good quality stuff. But they recently came out with a couple magnetic buckles. So I ordered a few. And these are really cool. So this one is a buckle. you can see this metal front piece here. That is actually the locking mechanism to prevent it from coming undone. In order to open that, you can see this pull tab. You pull the pull tab. So if I pull it, the two pieces come apart. If I want to close it up, now remember, if I was using a plastic buckle, if I wanted to close it, I have to find the two ends, get them to line up, and then push them shut. Which sounds easy. It's a lot harder to do when you're trying to do it underneath or through or in between stuff without being able to see and you have limited mobility. This, just hold it together. It automatically shuts itself and locks. To open it, you pull the tab. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to have 4 of these. One in the front of each leg, each thigh, and one in the back of each thigh, holding up and attached to the cod piece. Then, the next big piece to kind of take into account is the core section, the ab plate, and the back kidney section. That's going to be simple. It's going to be held in by Velcro, strapped to itself. From that, you have the chest and the back piece that will go on. The back will literally lay like a backpack. You put it on and over, and then the chest clamps to it. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to use these buckles. These are also magnetic, once again from Strapworks. In a cool matte black finish, you really won't be able to see it underneath, which is the goal. But they're slide as opposed to side release. These are slide buckles. Once again, just like the other magnetic buckles I showed you, you just hold together and it automatically shuts. It stays on, you have to slide it to pop it off. So these are what's going to hold the chest up. 2 in the front and the top, 2 at the sides by my ribs. Chest will just clamp in. So when you hold it up, these will just automatically snap shut and hold it in. The shoulders will also attach to the back piece. Those will probably be held up by the old cheap plastic buckles, most likely. Because the shoulders don't really have to be mobile and they don't have to move. They don't have to come off. So I can hook it in and I can leave those on permanently. Dangling from the shoulder will be the arms. Now the arms are interesting in that they're going to hold themselves up by the weight of it attached to my forearm, the bicep section and the forearm section. But I would also like them to be attached to the shoulder so that so they stay in place. Those will also probably be held up by these slide buckles. So when I put the arm up, I just slide it up and it will automatically clip magnetically. So yeah, then obviously the neck seal goes on. That'll be Velcro as well, and then you've got the helmet that'll just set on your head. Gloves will just slide on and so on. So yeah, that's my intention for strapping it. It's nothing super fancy. Some of these guys, for some cosplayers, they'll go all out. I mean, they'll 3D print their own buckling systems and stuff. I'm not going through that. Not that I couldn't, but I don't see the need. Why Fix It isn't broken, and I think Strapworks has some really, really good cheap options. I don't know if I could do it better myself, at least not in any kind of timely manner. So I would end up going with them. So yeah, my goal is to, in the next couple of weeks, actually get this thing all strapped together. We'll see. I'll show you guys a little bit more once it's actually put together. Hopefully this method I've got planned out is adequate, but if not, we'll make some tweaks and changes as we go. So thanks for watching, guys.